G'day mate and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. So we've got things up and mostly running. I've got the southern wall in. I've actually ghosted in a radar here and a radar here because I forgot to place them when I was out there. But the problem is I've got the radars and the robots don't. So I've got two options. I can either trash some radars and the robots will come pick them up, or I can literally put two on the ground, use the deconstruction planner and say, hey robots, deconstruct this crap on the ground. They're going to come pick up those radars, potentially take them straight to storage, which just looks like what they're doing. And then once they get to storage, they'll then pull them out of storage to then put them down where they belong. At the same time, I want to clean up our walls and our gun turrets that we've had scattered all over the base. And literally just get rid of them. Put them in storage. Do something with them. They're no longer needed. So I want a deconstruction planner. I want to put it in my inventory. I want to right click on it so I can set some filters. I want it to just deconstruct gun turrets and walls. Nothing else. So when I click on this deconstruction planner and I hover it over anything I want, it's only going to select those items. So it means I can very quickly run around and say, look, let's get rid of all this crap. We'll get rid of that too. I can't do anything about this side because that's still protected by gun turrets. But across the bottom of the base, I can definitely go, you know what? I don't need any of these anymore. Don't need these guys. All these ones around oil can probably go. We still need to do something about this side. But then again, the bus is going that way, so it's sort of semi-defended. There's a bit of wall I missed. You know what? I can actually safely say anything between there and there that I might have missed can just go. And robots will just take off and clear it up. Oh, there's a bit of wall in the bus. Same story. Oops. Wrong deconstruction planner. We want that deconstruction planner. I'll actually put it down here and I'll save it in my quick bar for later use. So, robots are going to go clean up the base. Excellent. At the same time, I have these belts that we've been stringing from A to B that, again, I'd really like to clean up because I want to extend green circuits down. I want to extend red circuits down. I've just noticed green circuits had a little bit of an issue with the blueprint. Just ghost those into place. Robots will get to it when they get to it. And our make everything, I also need yet another product being... well, make almost everything. I need yet another product in it. I need bricks, which are right here. So let's move steel. That's all the yellow belt I had. Let's take half a stack of yellow belt. Nothing's grabbing steel. Nothing's grabbing steel. That gun turret can go. Because all these gun turrets have a lot of ammo in them, it's going to take them a while to get picked up. Okay, so we can clear from there to there. I can move that there to there. I can pick up all this steel, which is good because I need more steel, personally. And then, if I swap you over to a red belt and extend you out one more tile, I can now get brick down here. Okay, the reason we need brick is I want to upgrade our furnaces. I want to upgrade our belts. I want to get a lot more input into the base. Oh, I need to clean these guys up still. So, let's get another deconstruction planner. Set you to trees and rocks only. And go, you know what? Any tree between there and there, and any rock, just get rid of it, please. It won't get rid of the cliffs, but I can do those manually by hand, or manually with a normal deconstruction planner when and if I need to. We're going to cut this belt, I'm going to cut this belt, and I'm going to run my blue science all the way down. Just hold down shift to go through things. Go away cliffs, go away cliffs. Or just Goes right through all that. Underground there. Where do these have to end up? They have to end up... Oh, they're going to be joined with military. Okay, so let's get military down here as well. Fast replace that way. And I'm ghosting stuff because I've got a limited amount of belt in my inventory. Okay. Blue science is on that side, so I put military on the other side. Same story. Boom. Okay. We're going to take that way. We want science is here. Yeah, it goes to roughly where the wall is. So we'll just fill in all these missing pieces. Underground. Underground there. The radar can just be moved up a tile. Cliffs again. Be gone. Goes right through there and join up to this belt. That's solid fuel. So solid fuel, I've already disconnected it at the other end. So it should be empty all the way to where we're standing. Good. So I can come straight through there. And we're just waiting for this science to drain. Meanwhile, I can actually go to there and say, look, you zoom right away in, goes to all the way down. Then we'll turn it. You know what? It's probably just quicker, rather than me running there, to just underground one piece. Underground again. Underground again. Underground again. That radar that we moved. I can't move again because then it'll be outside the power network. So we'll just underground it this time. Or it'll be outside the power for that power pole. I could fix that, but again, it's just easier just to underground it. Keep going this way, keep going this way. Solid fuel is there. We don't need any of that. We don't need that anymore. We don't need there. Solid fuel actually doesn't join to here. So I'm going to give myself all the room in the world and bring it to wherever that is. Zoom in. So I get a continuous belt. That's where we're aiming for. Yeah, if I'm at max zoom, I should get a continuous belt. Okay. No, see, not quite. It has its flaws. Okay, so blue science is coming. There we go. It's another one missing. Normal deconstruction point up there to there. So solid fuel is going to come all the way along the bottom of the base now. Blue science and military, same story. They're going to come along the bottom of the base. So they're both up and running a lot faster. Unfortunately, they're not draining as fast as I'd like. So I need to set up, and I've got random stuff in my inventory that I don't want. So I need to also set up some sort of recycling system for any science packs that end up accidentally in storage. Normally due to, you know, the player's overabundance of a deconstruction planner is generally how things end up in storage that aren't meant to be in storage. And again, we're just going to use the poor man's sorting system. Or the poor man's requester chest. And we're going to say, hey, we want you to do... Military science only. Blue science is over here. Same story. I want you... one chest there. We want you to do military science only. Which now means... I can then take my deconstruction plate and go, hey you, all that can all go away, because we know that they'll end up where they're meant to be. Oh, unfortunately I swapped the sides of the belts. Okay, so that's something we'll have to... that's one of those things that's actually going to be faster for us to go clear manually. I can say, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. All those can get out of our inventory as well. And you can see very, very clearly, look at all this space we've opened up. And we can start expanding builds into that space. So I want to vacuum this belt into my inventory. And then we'll hook up that belt. And then because I'm right here, I'm going to hold down right click and just drag over the labs. And that'll put half in each lab. It's not going to be even, it's not going to be neat, but as long as it's much better they're in the labs than on a very, very long belt that will eventually get them to where they need to be. They can just go straight into labs and also save a bit of power of the robots flying them halfway across the map. It is very important when doing these recycling systems to make sure if you have stuff on just one side of the belt, it stays on just that side of the belt. It's also important that your recycling is in front of your assemblers, because if your assemblers back up, you still want this to put onto the belt faster or before any of your assemblers start kicking in, actually producing new items. Two very, very important things to make sure you do when doing mass recycling. Okay, so next on our list, green circuits. I know from all my experience that we're always going to want more green circuits. So I'm going to take this opportunity, now we've got the space, to blueprint the hell out of them and just go, you know what, let's just build it as far as we can. It's going to be one of two things. It'll either go as far as we can, or we'll actually run out of resources, run out of materials on the belts. I can clean this up, because that's going to be the last one, potentially. Okay. You need that, and you need that. Okay, so more green circuits. We already know that these guys are running flat out. Oh. I meant to do this. I meant to actually do a few things. Mod settings per player, larger icons and font, confirm. There we go. Okay, so I've actually had this sitting here the whole time, and I've been forgetting to turn it on and explain it. So this is a mod. It does. In the case of this mod, it really is just a it's really a helper mod, and it's more for you guys than for me. Obviously, I can bring up the production stats at any time and say, look, for 1 minute production, how much iron are we making? But you guys can't see that in the base at any time. It requires my manual input. This does exactly that. It can say that I'm making 1.6k iron plate per minute, and I'm using 1.4. I'm making 800 copper, and I'm using 400. We'll add green circuits, because that's another important detail. We'll add red circuits. And these numbers are not perfect. They're an average over several minutes. So you can see that, it says I'm making 200, but I'm only using 76, which is roughly about right. And red circuits, I'm making not a lot, and I'm using even less, which is probably about right, because we're just not using them currently. So yeah, there we go. There's the mod turned on and enabled. I apologize, I hadn't been done earlier. I've had lots of people ask me in the comments what's happening. And our fuel belt is dead, because one belt is missing. It is very, very important when using robots to ghost down large amounts of stuff to make sure that things definitely get put down correctly. Okay, other things that we want to automate. I want two things actually. So we were in the process of doing one. I want steel furnaces, which require brick and steel. And this is the only item that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe one more that needs brick. So it's a little bit of a waste bringing brick down here, but I sort of couldn't be bothered doing any other way. Because it's the one item, I'm actually going to do, like, some people hate me for doing this, but I'm actually going to put the assembler here, which obviously doesn't line up with anything else. And then I'm going to pop those in, pop in a power. We just lost power entirely because we ran into a feedback loop where we're not producing enough power to make enough coal to run enough of the base to then produce enough coal to the, yeah, it's bad things happen. So let's go find all this solid fuel wherever it's gone. It's probably being fed into power ever so slowly. It is. And because we have burner inserters, they will kick in. Whether they provide enough power to run the other inserters is a different question. So we'll just manually reboot the system. And then we need to see what the story is with our fuel production. We're not producing any because we're actually backed up in petroleum. So I never set I didn't set a cap. It's really the best way of putting it. For our cracking efforts. So what's happened is we've actually cracked all our heavy oil into light oil. Then we've used some of that light oil to make the solid fuel to run our power and to make the chemical science. And then we've cracked the rest of it over to petroleum, which is now backed up. We're not using the petroleum. Consequently, because we're not using the petroleum, there's no room in the petroleum tank to make more petroleum, and the byproduct being the light oil and the heavy oil. So we need to basically cap these guys off so they don't work if we don't want them to work. And the easiest way to do that is there isn't one. Oh yes, there is. Okay. So what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to cut them off completely. So now these guys don't work. They don't have a light oil input. I'm going to give them a light oil input, but I want to make sure that their input is somehow separate from everything else. So light oil can at the moment pass this way, but I want this to be on a separate branch. So we need to work out how... There we go. So if I put two pipes in there, that'll give... That would put this on a separate branch to this main pipe. What I actually want to do is I want to put a pump in. Which will then force the liquid this way. But I want to actually put a condition on this pump. I want to hook it up to that petroleum pipe tank, and I want to say, hey you, you're only allowed to enable if petroleum is less than 10,000. So if our petroleum is running really, really, really low, then you're allowed to work. And I guarantee you right now, somebody's right there, hands on the keyboard, trying to type as fast as they can. But JD, what happens if this has got less than 10,000, but like this is also full, all right, or empty, or some other condition? You're right. So we should account for that as well. So I'm going to put a second pump in. I'm going to hook this one to here. I'm going to say, hey you know what? If light oil is, you can only run if light oil is greater than 5,000. So light oil has to have more than 5,000 in it for this pump to run. And petroleum has to have less than 10,000 in it for that one to run. Which now means I need to connect this back up to the main grid. And, oops. Hook both these pumps up. So we've hooked light oil back up to these guys. These guys are running perfectly fine. And these only kick in when those two conditions are met. At the same time, because I've seen like about 5 different people have commented on this, but I haven't had a chance to come over here and actually fix it. I actually missed input for this one poor chemical plant. So that's now fixed. Thank you everybody in the comments section. I actually had no idea it wasn't there. These guys have no use anymore because they're not even hooked up anymore. Okay, so that's a bit more cleaned up. Alright, so we were in the process of trying to add more things to our make everything. So let's just go over there and see where we got up to. So we got up to this guy, which needs a little bit of steel and a lot of brick. So I've got a fast inserter there and a couple of long-hand inserters, and hopefully they're fast enough to keep fed. They are. Good. We need an output. And I'm going to pop it in one of those chests. I'm going to cap this guy to 50. Now, steel furnace. I'll put one here. I've got one there. And I want a stone furnace as well. Gosh, there's a lot of crap in storage already. Let's put down more storage. So, steel furnace compared to a stone furnace. We've got an energy consumption, so health, who cares? We're not looking at that stat. We've got an energy consumption of 60 kilowatts, 90 kilowatts rather, and a crafting speed of 1. This guy has an energy consumption of the same 90 kilowatts, but a crafting speed of 2. So that means he's producing twice as much for the same amount of energy in. So, at the moment, we're burning either, on our smelting lines, we're either burning either solid fuel or coal, which solid fuel has a energy value of like several megajoules, and if you're really interested, you can go to the wiki and look at the conversion rate. It's burning material to create power in the case of kilowatts, right, to then smelt stuff. So what we can actually do is we can start swapping these guys out for the more efficient furnace, which honestly takes a lot of time. You're going to make a lot of furnaces. You're going to run up and down the smelter lines and have them upgrade one by one by one. It's a little bit frustrating. The other thing we can do, which was introduced in version 17, is use this guy down here, the upgrade planet. Now, if you don't have this down here, you should have it when you've unlocked robots, but if you don't, you can press the B button to bring up the blueprints section, where you can get your existing blueprints, make new blueprint books, make new blueprints, all that sort of stuff, get the upgrade planet and the deconstruction planet. So, automatically, it's set to do logical upgrades. So, as we can see there, where my mouse is, stone furnaces for steel furnaces. And I'm just going to drag and walk away. So this will upgrade these guys so they can produce twice as fast. Also means they're going to consume twice as fast. So at the same time, I need to upgrade their input. So it technically means all this belt, all the way back as far as possible, should also get upgraded to red belt. Probably back to that splitter we can get away with. Maybe we should be going back further. But it also means the input also should be upgraded to red belt speed. Now, one of the things with a furnace column is because these guys are now producing twice as fast, or consuming twice as fast, only the first half actually have to go up to that higher speed. The second half doesn't. On their output, the exact opposite is true. On their output, the first half can be the slower yellow speed, because yellow belts move 15 items per second, whereas the red belts move 30 items per second. So the second half has to be at that red belt speed. The first half can stay yellow. That is if you're poor. If you're short on resources and you really don't want to mass spend on upgrading to get red belt from your yellow, you can get away with doing just half. In our case, look, we're just going to do all of those guys, all of those guys, all of those guys, all of those guys. I want to do all of them. I'm actually sick of this already, so let's get one of these, put it in there, open it up, and we want to say, hey you, we just want to pick up stone furnaces. That's all I want to select. And now I can just drag very, very indiscriminately all the way across and go, you lot. Same time, you lot. I've left these guys. These guys I'll do later, but they're not actually running, so I don't need to upgrade them. And now we can see there is 349, 348. It'll keep counting down as we keep producing more. As another robot comes and picks up, another one flies it off and goes and does another upgrade. So we're going to slowly half our fuel usage into our smelting column. Unfortunately, we're still using a lot of fuel for power, and our pollution is still less than ideal. It's not horrible, but it's not ideal, which is of course going to attract biter friends. Okay, so what other things do I want to upgrade now we have the power of robots? I want to upgrade red circuits, because technically what we've built here can only just run our science. Unfortunately, this is no longer a clean blueprint because I went and put a robot port right in the middle of it. But it's okay. We can clean this back up. Yep. And then I can copy it again. I like getting a little bit of overlap, so then I can just line things up. That goes on there. And that's as far as we're going to get. Let's get rid of that, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Copper plate does not have to come any further. This belt's very, very important. This forces the copper cable to be on the left hand. This being the inside towards the build side of the belt. So that one's actually important. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, so we can upgrade that. Same time, we've got our lovely upgrade planner now. We're going to pick a new one. We're going to say, hey you, we want to do normal assemblers into slightly faster assemblers. And science is really holding us up. So let's upgrade that. Upgrade all the assemblers that feed into science to make sure they're also increased in speed. Oh, we already had a temporary build. I set up a temporary build and forgot all about it. That's normal for me. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put that there, and 310 just got picked up. So it probably means we can even afford to do those guys. Any left? I don't know. Robots will tell me soon. And then I can always just deconstruct whatever's left. So where these guys have all been upgraded. I want to, again, no, let's just use upgrade planner. I want to upgrade those two inserters and that inserter. I want all them to go up to the next level because they need to be faster. This needs to disappear. So again, deconstruct that. Oh crap, I tried to pick it up. Don't try to pick it up, JD. I don't want any of that stuff in my inventory. You're going on the far side of the belt. That is very unfortunate planning, JD. We're going to do that. Same overall effect. Works wonders. Done. You need a upgrade planner as well. You're going to need an upgrade planner as well. Again, doing the exact same thing here, going there to there. Let's get rid of that. Have we set up recycling for those? Yellow inserters. No. We've just capped the box. Okay, so let's go fix that. Well, actually, let's set up this one as recycling. Because yellow inserters are used for science. So we can set you to yellow like that. So it means that if I deconstruct or I use an upgrade planner on any yellow inserters, like, I've only got 5 on me. My poor Logibots, I just don't have enough of them. Oh look, we got power poles are missing. No. Well, actually, let's deconstruct these power poles, those power poles. Only missing 4, that's now enough. So yeah, when these inserters get picked up by the robots, they'll come get dumped in this chest, and at least then they'll go off to science. I should cap this inserter, like we've done before, and say, hey you, if there's less than 50 in there, you're allowed to spin. Just to, you know, like I said, we want to do as much recycling as possible. If we've already produced something, there is no reason to produce it again. And same story, we'll do more recycling for... Now, this is red science that goes that way. This is green science that goes that way. This one's outside the Logi network. So you can see I've got a little dead zone in here. So let's put down one of them. Which means any science packs, which luckily I don't have any on me. We've got wall over there. Wall is obviously not being recycled still. This is one of those things when I first get robots. It's really important to me in the way I run my base to, whenever I have the chance, to make sure rather than things just going to storage and being forgotten about forever, to actually have a way for things that go into storage to come out of storage. Let's use a fast inserter for this one. Things that go into storage to come out of storage and actually become useful again and go back into the base. So we're going to deconstruct that so that 800 walls over there end up over here. That way, as I said, they actually become useful again. Military's got a recycle. There's lots of things that don't worry about recycling. So if we go over and look at this right now, we've got solid fuel. Probably should recycle that. Yeah, unfortunately my recycle attempt for the walls didn't work. Oh, it did work. There we go. We're delivering some there and some there. Unfortunately, there's already some walls in here, so that sort of fails in recycling. The idea is you never let any of this stuff end up in original storage, and it all gets put where it's meant to go the first time. How long are we in? We're in far too long into this episode. And I'm still getting so sidetracked with just storage and getting things tidied up. Anyway, I'm going to end this episode here, obviously. We've done a fair bit of tidying up. We've done a bit more automation. We've had the robots do most of the work this episode, which is part of the point. Have the robots do as much work as possible. We've upgraded science. As you can see, all our labs are now running flat out, which is good. We've got to look at our next science fairly quickly. We haven't even unlocked production science, but that's the next one. At the same time, we're going to have to do something about these biters, and we still need to get these 3 patches. We haven't done that either, so we've still got a fair bit to go. Our resources patches are definitely far from what I call healthy. Iron was semi-okay on. Copper, it's getting there. I normally say by the time you're down to 1 million, you're sort of heading towards trouble. So in the next episode, maybe we'll get some of that done. Yep, that's got to go. Yeah, that can't go. I think that's the only thing I can do. And dump more ammo in it. So yeah, in the next episode we'll get lots more done. And also we're going to go back to the power armor because I spoke about it and then didn't do anything about it in the follow-up episode, which happened. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Do hope you're enjoying this little tutorial series. As always, questions, thoughts, comments. If you see that there's something I've screwed up, by all means tell me so in the comment section. That's always the best way. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.